Hi guys, it's Devious, so welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing a collective haul. I'm not sure if this is going to go up in August or in September. This is going to be kind of a collection of a few different clips because I have some more books that I want to haul later. The first book I want to show you is Us Against You by Fredrik Backman. This is the sequel to Beartown, which I also bought recently and haven't shown in a haul yet, but I don't have with me physically, so we're just gonna say that this is a stand-in for both of these. If you haven't seen my July wrap-up or my reading rush vlog from July, I, on a whim, bought and read Beartown within a day pretty much, and I absolutely loved it. It's about a small Swedish town that has only one thing going for it pretty much, and that is its hockey team, and everybody in the town is involved in hockey in some way, shape, or form. And it's about the conflict that arises when one member of the hockey team does something really horrible that kind of divides the town. And I absolutely love Beartown. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is so moving and very thought-provoking and very complex. Like, it's nothing is black and white, and I absolutely love that. So I really wanted to read the sequel. So far I haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm hoping to very soon. It does connect, I think, pretty seamlessly to the end of the first book, so I can't say too much about the plot of this one, but I'm definitely very excited to have it, and I hope to get to it pretty soon. The next book I have here is Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler. This follows a 22-year-old woman called Tess who lands a job in a fancy high-end restaurant in downtown New York. And then it says, what follows is her education in champagne and cocaine, love and lust, dive bars, and fine dining as she learns to navigate the chaotic, enchanting, punishing life she has chosen. It just sounds like a quick and sort of not too deep read, and I hope I really enjoy it. It has apparently been turned into a TV series that I also haven't heard of ever, so I don't know, but if you guys have read it, please let me know what you thought of it. The next book is one of my current reads, and that is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This book came out last year, and it's been sort of on and off my radar for a while, but because it's a YA mystery, I wasn't super into it, and then recently I heard, I think, Zoe talk about it, and all of a sudden I was like, I need to have it. I don't know why. Sometimes I have like these weird brain, I don't even know, like short circuit things where like I hear about a book 1,000 times, and then the 1,001st time I need to buy it immediately. I don't know how that happens or how that works, but whatever. But this follows a junior in high school called Stevie who transfers to a kind of really elite and only for talented and gifted students type of academy called the Ellingham Academy that has a very murderous past. And the reason that she gets transferred there is not necessarily because she's super academically like advanced or like some of her peers has like created crazy things at a very young age, but because she's a crime buff and basically an amateur Sherlock Holmes type thing. And in the history of this academy, about 100 years prior, some murders have occurred, and I think a kidnapping and a bunch of other stuff that hasn't been solved yet. So I'm pretty sure I'm only 70 pages in now, but I'm pretty sure that sort of part or mainly the whole reason Stevie got accepted is because they hope that she will solve this crime. At least that's the impression I'm getting, basically. But then the person who committed those crimes, or like somebody imitating them, I don't know, reappears and stuff starts up again. So it's a mystery series, and so far there's 2 books out. The Vanishing Stair is the sequel that was released this year, and then early next year, the 3rd and I think final book is coming out. So I'm excited. I've heard that the first book doesn't solve the whole mystery, which is pretty cool, because it leaves, you know, stuff to look forward to, and so far I really enjoy it. I enjoy the writing style. I think it sounds quite interesting and creepy, and I'm excited to hopefully be surprised by a bunch of plot twists and not predict the entire thing, because that would be just boring. But yeah, so far I'm really enjoying it, and I hope to read it, finish it very soon. Next is a book I've already read that I sadly didn't enjoy overly much, and that is The Moon and More by Sarah Dessen. This is a very fluffy, lighthearted contemporary that I mainly picked up because it was recommended to me by a friend of mine on Instagram, and then also because I finally wanted to try Sarah Dessen. She's been around for ages and I've had still not yet read anything by her, so I thought it was about time. This book is set in a small beachside town that's a very touristy destination during the summer holidays. But the main character, Emmeline, obviously lives there all the time, so she kind of sees the other side of that whole like summer craze that happens every single year, and she doesn't really get that because she's just there all the time and like this is her normal. And but she really loves the town and her family and all that this town represents in her life. She also wants more. She wants to go to Colombia and she wants to like kind of grow. She's already growing past the boundaries of the small town, basically. And she has a boyfriend that she's been with forever, basically. But one summer, this other guy comes into town and she kind of feels torn between her home and this small town life and maybe something more. Now, I don't think that this book is poorly written or has a negative story or like message or has really anything that's like objectively bad. I just feel like I'm just not the target audience for this, and I'm going to talk about it more in my August wrap up, but I just wasn't a fan of it. I'm just not in that headspace anymore, and I can't really connect to a book like this anymore. But if you are, or maybe if you're younger, like this might be a quite fun, you know, summer read for you. Next, I have Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. I've been meaning to get this book for a while and it finally happened, and I'm planning to buddy read it with Murphy Napier in September. I'm very excited about that. But basically, this is a book about a marsh girl that is rumored to be haunting Berkeley Cove in the 60s, I think. Yeah, and then once a man is found murdered in the marsh, they immediately suspect her to be the killer. But as the book reveals, there's much more to her, and I think later she also makes some meaningful like connections with people living in the town and stuff like that. So it's at once, I think, a coming of age story in a sense, but also a murder mystery, and it seems that there's quite a few layers. I'm very excited to get into this. I hope I enjoy it. I'm excited to be buddy reading this because, to be honest, I always read books more actively when I buddy read them because I want to have obviously something to talk about with the person I'm reading it with, and then you kind of in discussion discover things that you yourself haven't thought of before, and so I really love that. So I'm excited to be getting a lot out of this. I hope I enjoy it, and again, if you've read it, let me know what you thought of it. And lastly, I have The Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. This is a thriller that has also come out this year, and it's going to be my first Ruth Ware. I'm so excited to be finally reading something by her. She's been on my radar forever, but I've heard so many mixed things about her books that I never really felt confident checking them out, especially since I'm very picky about thrillers, you guys know. Like, I kind of hate almost all of them. I'm very good at predicting thrillers, and that just takes the fun out of it, especially when they play right into my predictions, because I wouldn't say that like I predict the craziest, most out there things, you know. It's kind of always the same plot devices reused time and again, and I find it just very hard to find a good thriller author. But I finally decided to give her a go, try one of her books, and I hope that this will not disappoint me. This is about a woman that stumbles across an ad advertising for a nanny, like a live-in nanny, in this like very high-tech mansion that is extremely well paid, and she accepts the position, but things transpire and apparently a child dies and she lands on trial for murder, but she's adamant that she is innocent. So that's all I could glean from the synopsis. It's very mysterious, doesn't give too much away, so I'm very excited. It sounds spooky as hell. I am very excited to see how the tech elements of this being like a very high-tech mansion play into the story. I hope they do play a part and they aren't just there for sort of pretty decorations. But yeah, I'm very excited to check this out. Hi, welcome back. So now let's do part 2 of this little haul. It's actually not that little. I have a huge pile of books here that I need to show you. All right, now let's get started with another Truly Devious, because I had to repurchase this as a hardcover. I couldn't resist. I loved the first book so much. Well, this book, I loved it so much. I had to get the sequel, The Vanishing Stair, and it was only available as a hardcover. So I decided to return the paperback and just purchased myself 2 beautiful hardcovers. I actually got to keep the paperback as well because Amazon didn't want it back, so now I have 2 editions, but who cares? They look so good, man. I'm so excited. I can't wait to read The Vanishing Stair. It's not my fault, TBR. It's gonna happen right after my current read, so I'm so excited. Oh my god, I love the first book. It was so good. The next book is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I already read this and did a rant review on it, so you should go and check that out if you're interested. I only gave this 2 stars. Unfortunately, it wasn't for me. But it's about a woman called Emma who returns to a summer camp where she was about 15 years ago, and 3 of her friends disappeared at the time, and now she has to return and like find closure, but then things happen, and you know, the usual. Go watch that review if you want to. Next, there are 3 books that were actually a gift from a friend who didn't need them anymore. The first is The Incendiaries by R.O. Kwon. It's so close to No, but it's not No, it's Kwon. This follows a Korean-American couple who get drawn to like a fundamentalist religious group that is tied to North Korea or something like that. I don't know. It's very short. It seems to be tackling a very inflammatory topic, no pun intended, for such a short book. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm very interested. If you've read it, let me know what you thought. I honestly expected it to be longer. I also have Burned by Ellen Hopkins, which is going to be a very interesting read because it's a story told entirely in poetry. I've never read a book that was just one story told in poetry. I don't know how that's going to go. I'm going to try to read it soon because I could probably read it in one sitting because it's short, considering, like, if you just, like, look at the amount of text, like, it's almost nothing. So I don't know how that would go. I don't know. Very excited, very interested to see how that goes. And the last book she gave me is I See You by Claire McIntosh. I read I Let You Go by her last year, I think. I wasn't the biggest fan. It seemed like the plot twist was the only thing really carrying the book, and aside from that, it wasn't anything special. So we'll see if I See You is any better. This one follows a woman, I think, who sees her face on the milk carton, like listed as a missing person, and then every day it's like a different face, and it's just confusing. It sounds like a horror movie, honestly, so I don't know how that is a thriller. Like, it seems, you know what I mean? Like, it seems a little too supernatural and like too outlandish to be a thriller, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess. And then more books that I bought myself. The first is Sweet Bitter by Stephanie Danler. This is, did I already haul this? I can't remember. Maybe I've already hauled this. Yeah, I've already hauled this. Then I have a random one I got because I saw it and it sounded cool, and that is If You Could Go Anywhere by Paige Toon. This is supposed to be a summer read, so I have to probably read it soon before it completely goes out of season. This follows a woman who feels trapped in her hometown, I think, but she's always wanted to travel, and then her grandmother passes away, and she was the last remaining family for her, so she decides to set out and find her father or something like that. It sounds interesting. I was intrigued, and yeah, I love the color of this cover. Can I just say, like, it's one of my favorite colors, and it actually kind of matches my lipstick. Am I imagining that? Maybe this top part right here, kind of, a little bit. Why am I so weird? I don't know. And then finally, I also got The Devouring Grey by Christine Lynn Herman, because recently I've just been buying hyped books nonstop. I don't know why. But it worked out pretty well with Truly Devious, so why not give it a try? I've heard this book compared to Stranger Things a lot, so that's a very high bar to live up to. I don't know what that idiom is. It follows a group of teenagers living in a town, like they're all descendants of the founding families or something like that, and then there's something creepy in the woods. I don't know more than that. I genuinely don't. I'm not the biggest fan of this edition because it's like this horrible shade of pink. Like, I don't know why they chose this for the pages. I usually like colored pages or sprayed pages, but it just looks bad. Like, it looks very cheap in this case, like I don't even know, like a really cheap paperback, even though it's a very normal one. I just don't like the color. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. But we'll see. Let me know if you've read this. I know it's a very popular thing, very popular book, but I actually haven't heard that many people's opinions on it yet. So I'd love to hear your thoughts if you have any to share. And that is it for this book haul. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you've read any of these books and what you thought of them, or also what other books you read or bought recently. I'd love to know in the comments below. While you're down there, please don't forget to like this video and subscribe. I hope to see you very soon with another video. And until then, have a lovely week.